Brian Taylor from the Rocket Shop, back at you again with the low buck 454 rat motor build-up. As you can see, she's all together. I've had it running a little bit already, and I want to tell you a little bit about what you see here and how you can build this yourself. In my first video, you've seen what I used for a short block and what used parts I put into it. And now I'll show you what I've done with those used parts, how I've cleaned them up, and what new parts I've put on. Now if you're building a low buck motor, there's certain things that provide the best bang for the buck and stuff that kind of gets you the best mileage out of what you're trying to do. This motor is not going to have very high compression. Just because I use a stock short block with stock pistons, it's probably 8 to 1. You know, it'd be nice if it was 10, 10.5 to 1, there'd be some power there for sure, but that wasn't part of the budget. Changing pistons wasn't going to happen. So one of the things I've found that when you're putting together a cheap motor is to get the right cam. And motors with no compression need a tight lobe separation angle. Get the tightest lobe separation angle that you can find. I'm using Comp's Big Mother Thumper cam. It's 243, 257 at 50, and 107 lobe separation angle with 522, 507 lift. So this is a healthy cam duration wise, but low on the lift. That'll make this motor sound good and make good power and last a long time. It's not going to be hard on valve train stuff because it's not got a high lift. Another thing that I found is the Holley 750 vacuum secondary part number 3310 SA. That's the best bang for the buck carburetor you can find. I've had enough bad experiences using old junk carburetors that got pulled off the shelf that it sure is a treat to use a brand new one. When you got a motor that doesn't have the compression that it would really want, you want to use a vacuum secondary carb. Unless it's going into a real light car, then maybe a double pumper would work with lots of gears. But this 750 vacuum would be an awesome carburetor for this build-up. I managed to pick up a used Holley Street Dominator intake. It's a low-rise single plane. This is an old intake, but it'll do the trick well for this type of build-up. I got it cleaned up nice, and it looks good, and I'm happy with it. I put a RPC aluminum water pump on it. That's about the best bang for the buck for cheap water pumps that you can find in aluminum. You could get an Edelbrock one, but it'd be at least twice as much money. I got the RPC chrome dress-up kit, which has the tall valve covers and the chrome timing chain cover and a chrome dipstick. Another thing that I like to do is put studs for all the valve covers. And you can find stock studs, valve cover studs on 305 Chevys in like the mid 80s on pickup trucks. Those work real good. So this is just kind of using the best stuff that I can find for the cheapest money and building something that this thing should make close to 450 horse. New set of spark plugs, new set of spark plug wires. I put a 1/2 inch open spacer under the carburetor to give it a little bit more plenum volume and keep some heat out of the carburetor. I got my laser cut mid-mount alternator bracket on it. I sell lots of those. They work awesome. I'm really happy with those. This distributor's got the timing locked out, so there's no weights, no springs in it. It's just welded solid. The timing's set at 36 total. For a street car, you might want to put a distributor in it with a normal advance curve in it. For a light car that's going to be used for drag racing or just Saturday night cruising or blasting on it, I like the locked out distributors. For anybody that's wondering if I ended up putting that one beat up piston into this motor, here it is. Didn't use it. So here's kind of a rundown on what this thing's worth. You know, everyone's gonna say, low buck, what's so low buck about that? Well, by the time you put something together, you start to realize what low buck really is all about. As I said in my other video, 600 bucks for the short block, $1,830 is every dime I have into those heads. Carb, $450, brand new carb. Used intake I got for $150. All the gaskets, $195. I could have bought a generic gasket kit and saved a lot of money there, but instead I bought the good Felpro high performance head gaskets. They cost quite a bit more, they're like 70 bucks each. Spark plugs, fuel line, that's that chrome line coming off the carburetor. The water pump, the mother thumper cam and lifters, that's a hydraulic flat tappet. I've used solids cams in engines like this before, but that was a motor I was going to keep for myself. For the average guy that wants to just put this into his Chevelle or his Camaro, he doesn't want to touch a solid cam, he just wants to put it in and have fun. Double roller chain, the chrome dress up kit, my laser cut alternator bracket, some used starter, alternator, and pulleys. I value those at 50 bucks. Paint, oil, filter. I put a jug of Lucas cam break-in sauce in it. That's got the zinc for the flat tappet cams. Brand new comp 3/8 hardened push rods and plug wires. $41.90, that's the value of the dollars into this motor. Not including how much work and porting and everything else I've done to get this thing into this position. So that gives you an idea of what it takes to build something like this. You know, there's lots of places you could have spent lots more money. Some guys would, but for what I'm trying to do here, and I'm going to be posting this for sale on the internet, selling it for 4,500 bucks. So I feel that's a fair deal for what I've got into it. So now I want to start this thing up and show you what it sounds like. So there she is, guys, my low buck 454. She runs awesome. I broke it in earlier today. Just followed the full procedure for breaking in the flat tappet cam. And so this was just a little bit of a fire up to hear it run and rev it up a little bit, see what it sounds like, see what the idle is like with that big thumper, mother thumper cam in it. That's the second motor I've built with one of those thumper cams in them. They seem to work good. They have the raunchy sounding rumble that people like. You can build this yourself or buy this one from me. These are great motors to have a good time with. You can drive this for a season, have fun with it, and then you'd have a good pile of parts that if you wanted to turn this into a 496 for the next season, you know, you'd have a block already. All you'd have to do is buy a rotating kit and do some machining on the work, but this would get you going. So that's it. God bless, and hope to see you at the track this summer.